If you want to know what it costs per hour, as I scroll across this document, you'll see all my numbers change up here. So 601, on the weekend, it costs Tommy between $63 an hour, $67 an hour. So we're taking that, you can't see it, electricity, water or gas, to now it's dollars. Now I start making it real. So when I talked before about systemic management change, it needs to be embedded in job descriptions so people embrace it. Yes, sir?
If that building was also on natural gas, is there a separate slide, or they combine, or how do you?
So what you would do there, and I'll do it real quick.
Can everybody hear in the back? Did you hear the question?
Yeah. The question is, if we had natural gas, how do we show that? So all we need is a pulse meter. I need something telling me I'm using kilowatts, natural gas, or water. And that's called a pulse, just like you have on your hand. And that tells you you're alive. But in the building, it tells us the building's alive. So what that would be is another feed coming in. And in this building, actually, there's 4 electric meters. So we will add another meter on there, and pending internet connection, you will redraw that meter. So if you wanted to see, that is Northwest D meter. It could be Northwest D gas meter. It could be cooling tower makeup water. It could be occupants entering a building. We're starting to work with Honeywell. When Tommy was talking about how many occupants get into a building, that's great. I can count that pretty good by key fob. But I can't count people going out. So Honeywell has come up with a people counter that uses RFID. It counts heat signatures and tells you how many people are exactly in your building. You could put that up there if you wanted to. So we're gender neutral. We're not owned by a large corporation. We're not owned by a vendor. This came out of my brain, for better or worse, about 5 or 7 years ago. And the goal was to be able to present it. And the dollars, when we start benchmarking buildings, as Chris Pike was saying, they find LEED buildings are good at day 1, but that constant feedback lacks. So what we're working with is providing the KWH and also the financial footprint. So Tommy's building cost him $215 per hour, and the last reading was 11/39, August 10th, 2010. So in 15 minutes, that data will update. So it's live. If you don't measure it in real time, you're not going to manage it. The old way to manage it was I get a utility bill, which I think 3 people raised their hands and said, I look at a utility bill on a monthly basis. Well, here's the second largest, or the largest operating expense of commercial office buildings. It's a $200 trillion industry, and we have 3 people in this room that look at the bill. So the goal is give you the tool, and guess what happens when you give people the tool? Between a 12 and 49% reduction in energy. Because at the end of the day, the air conditioning guy might have said, you know what, it's Friday night, get kind of thirsty. There's a band starting at my favorite bar. You want air conditioning? On. He gets fired on Monday, guess what happened? Your air conditioning's on. Until somebody figures it out. Questions, thoughts, concerns, snide remarks? Anything? Anything? Put everybody to sleep? Coffee time? I can show you these graphs after time, but we have 5 minutes to 1. I think that was my time frame.
How is this financed? This is Tommy's project. How is this financed, and what was the cost?
The cost is $9.95 a month, and it was self-funded. So he saved $100,000. We charge him $1,000 a month. So self-financed. I don't have to worry about accounting or anything like that. I don't have to worry about going to my bank. This was bottom line savings. They took it from an expense column and moved it to an income column. Took a little bit off of that to pay us. Yes, sir.
That's $1,000 per building, $1,000 per what?
$1,000 per meter, per board. So what that looks like, and I will get into that. Oh my God. So this board is it's kind of cool. is not only does it put the electric meter on the internet or the water meter or anything like that, I also have 10 inputs that I could take a sub-meter into. I could take any type of meter, a people counter, anything like that. That's resident on that board, built, been up for 4 years. There's no field testing here. These are done, completed. There's also 2 communication ports, so if you want to talk, and I'm going to geek out for a minute, but if you want to talk TCP/IP, BACnet, Modbus, LAN talk, any of the languages out there to deal with air conditioning systems, we do that also. So that looks like Tommy's login request, where we talk to the building automation system. So we're marrying the two. We're marrying the electrical consumption with the building automation system. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Who's responsible for the pulse output from the utility?
What we do, we're mutually responsible. So I don't own the building. So what we do is drive that process for you. If you allow us to talk to your utility company, we will send the letters to them and request the pulse meter. Then we'll follow up with the utility company. You're simply in the background saying, hey, it's engaged. It'll be installed next week. We follow up with you and say, all right, it's installed. Then we drop our board in. And the customer is also responsible for internet connection.
How do you deal with the pulse factor from the utility pulse?
We scale it in our website. When we talk, when it goes to the cloud, we don't transmit any real utility data that is readable. It's encrypted, number one, and it's just a register file. All the magic happens at the website. So all our scaling factors, all that stuff happens at the website.
Do you do validation to make sure that your data gets utility bills?
Yes, sir. If we're within 0.5%. So the question was, do we compare the graph, the monthly graph, with the actual utility bill? So the first 60 days of our engagement is collect data, collect data, collect data, measure, analyze, act. Then we say, we need your next utility bill. And then we verify the kilowatt hours, the kilowatt demand. And if we're within 0.5%, we consider that pretty good. That's a tolerance for an electric meter reading, so we consider that pretty good. Every building we have out there currently is within 0.5%. All right, I was told to wrap it up. So we're good to go. Thank you very much.